All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is game 2 between Morrow and, this is game 1 between Morrow and Dignitas SjoW. We just got done casting a game with Cruncher and DeMuslim, so I got my head a little confused. But this is game 1 of the series. IPL 3 qualifier action. I see you laughing at me over there, Ron. What are you laughing about, man?
I was actually just laughing at the chat over here on the laptop.
All right. By the way, guys, if you guys are watching this in VOD format, then you guys probably are wondering who's the co-caster here. Kevin is sick. Cat's Pajama is sick today. Pain User is out playing MLG. So I didn't want to cast by myself. I decided I'd pull in another StarCraft veteran, and we have Mr. Dark Rabbi here, who's a very good StarCraft 2 player. He's a Protoss high-level Masters player. So I'm excited to have you here by my side.
Thanks, man. I'm glad to be here. I'm actually having a lot of fun. This is good times right here.
It's pretty chill, right?
Yeah, this is actually fun. I like this this setup.
Like to start doing this a little more?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, for sure. We might have to get you as the 4th caster now.
Hey,
now we need a 4th caster. We only have 3. We need like a 4th one to have actual sets, you know, because we're rotating right now. It can get a little confusing.
Yeah, I actually feel you. Wow, has Morrow not dropped his pool yet?
No, he hasn't. I think he's going to go for the 15 hatch here, which is it's actually pretty common against Terran. Given that, you know, a Zerg, most Zerg players these days, they don't really play the July Zerg style, which is just balls to the wall, break down the doors, try to win the game right away. There's a funny analogy on Team Liquid that I read the other day, which I'm not going to get into because it's a little controversial, but needless to say, most Zerg players these days do play the very macro style, so I think that Morrow is going to try to go for that 15 hatch. Yes, he is.
Yep, there it is.
So he's going to go for that eco style.
Yeah, it's a very standard opener. This is actually the matchup I know the least about, so I'm going to defer to you on a lot of the strategy questions.
That's cool.
And I'll ask you about what you think the players are going to do. And so what do you think Morrow's going to do now that he scouts the one gas from SjoW?
Well, scouting the one gas from SjoW says one thing. It says that I'm not going to be attacked by 2 barracks pressure. That's the thing that you're worried most about Zerg, and that's the reason why you want to scout right away with a Zerg drone against a Terran player. You want to see, is he 2 barracksing, or is he just going to go for the gas and go into Hellions, which is the most common opening for Terran players against Zerg. Banshees are possible as well, not quite as common. So I think Morrow, seeing that, he's going to prep his defenses up for Hellions. And as a Zerg player, typically when you play against Terrans, it's the Terran's job to be aggressive, to be the one that comes in with Hellions, try to do some damage, and try to attack the Zerg economy. It's Morrow's job to absorb that, grow bigger, badder, and stronger, and then at the mid game, he's going to have that Mutalisk Flock, and he's going to be able to fly out and do some damage of his own. So that's the general gist of ZVT for most Zerg players that play the macro style.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's funny because I've started to play the aggressive style of Zerg. You were watching me play a couple ladder games earlier.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try the July Zerg style. I'm going to Baneling Bus this Terran. I'm going to Roachling all in this Protoss. I'm going to all-out Ling attack this Zerg. And I literally won like 4 games in a row. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. I might start playing a little more aggressively.
Climbing up in Masters Leagues, man. You were what, top 40 in your division?
I was like top 40, top 30.
Pretty good, top 30. All right.
It's all right. I'm trying to get up there, working my way up.
Is that a Roach Warren that's about to finish here for Morrow?
It is a Roach Warren. So yeah, he saw that there was one gas, so he's getting the Roach Warren to deal with Hellions. And you know, not all Zergs have to do this. They can actually deal with Hellions with Spine Crawlers, Slings, and Queens. But the Roaches actually provide you a little bit more solid defense. He's building a lot. Wow.
6 roaches.
6 roaches. What do you think that means? Do you think he's going to attack the Terran?
I think he's just trying to fully wall off his natural so there can't be any Hellion run-bys, but Terrans better get the most out of these Hellions now, because I'm sure you saw the patch notes from yesterday. And they've nerfed the Blue Flame.
They have nerfed the Blue Flame. That was a nice patch for me, at least. I'm a little excited about that.
Oh, me too, man. Immortals and Warp Prism buff? Are you kidding me?
Oh, the Warp Prism buff. What is that now?
Shields up from 50 to 100, I believe.
Also a little bit more of a beefy.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Speed. Yes, it's faster.
Ah,
it's faster or has more health.
Good.
I'm actually not sure. The chat can probably correct me on this.
Yeah, they'll definitely
It's one of those two. It's just a very minor tweak, but you expect to see a lot of... Oh, the Hellions...
They actually got 3 kills.
They got 3 kills.
You were talking about the Hellions.
They need to get their... Real quick.
Yeah, they got 3 kills.
3. Good call.
You were telling me that the Hellions need to do their damage right now. They need to get in there and do what they can. And he ran in there, picked off 3 drones. However, it looks like the Roaches have already made their way to the front door, and that's why the Hellions decided to fall back. And Morrow is just going with the aggressive Zerg style. I mean, he used to play Terran, so he knows the Terran's weakness, and he's going for the 7 Roach rush.
No!
And he's doing so much damage. I can't believe it.
This is going to do a ton of damage to SjoW here. Both these players are actually Swedish former Warcraft 3 players.
Mm-hmm. Good point right there.
So good with the micro.
Yeah, absolutely. Great with the micro here. Morrow is killing
Oh,
everything.
no.
He's doing so much damage. It looks like finally all of his roaches are going to go down, but 10 workers killed. 10 workers killed, I repeat, for Morrow. And if we pull up that income tab, Morrow is now way ahead, 28 over 17. It's still confusing for me to say that Morrow's a Zerg, man. I look at the Terran, I'm like, this is Morrow, but it's not. It's SjoW.
Yeah, I still remember that. What was that tournament that he won early on? It was just right at the end of the beta, and Morrow won this first major StarCraft 2 tournament. I remember as a Terran, I think it was a DreamHack?
Was it
Or an
DreamHack?
IEM or something like that.
I think it was IEM. He was the one who went for the Mass Reapers against Idra. And
Right,
he killed them.
right.
Yeah, he's the one who popularized the Mass Reaper style. LZ Gamer will say that he did as well, so it's kind of a controversy thing there. But Morrow uses Reapers quite a bit against Zerg, which is a little funny to be, a little paradoxical, because he's the one who's been crushing Zergs with Reapers all day long, and then he decides to switch over to Terran. Or
Yeah.
Zerg, excuse me.
5Rex Reaper, we were...
That was nasty. That was the butt nasty.
yes, it was.
But did you know that Morrow's actually the one who developed the micro tournament arena game, which is pretty fun?
Really?
It's actually really imba, I think, for Zerg. It's hard for Zerg to win. Protoss is really powerful.
It's a custom game.
Yeah, it's a custom game. It's a
I
micro
haven't played
tournament.
that
You never
one.
played micro tournament?
No.
It's super fun, man. We'll have
I've
to
heard
play
of it,
some.
though. So
It's
I
really
didn't know
fun.
Morrow was behind that. What is that? Double Evo? No, Evo and a Baneling Nest.
Evo and a Baneling Nest is coming up right now, so we are going to have a couple of Banelings coming out. I like the Roach Baneling strategy in general. If you've opened up with Roaches already, you've done some damage, then you're thinking right now, what is the Terran going to do? Well, most likely he's going to try to get those Marines, and he still has those Hellions out as well, so, you know, Roach Baneling is actually a fairly good composition right now against SjoW.
Yeah, SjoW is sticking to just Marine, Hellion, and a couple Vikings coming out right now.
There's a dropship, and he's going to try to get the drop
right
in.
in front of the Overlord.
Oh,
Morrow's
man.
going to know all about this.
But is he going to be able to react in time?
Let's see. Is he pulling his units? There
He's
goes-
pulling his drones. So he is going to get in there. He is going to do a little bit of damage.
Oh,
Morrow
what?
pulls his drones around, and
That's not a good angle for the
that's,
Zerglings.
That's a great position for SjoW.
Yeah, I was going to lift up and just get out of there.
Yeah, the
Whoa.
Queens were doing a lot of damage to that dropship. The hull down to 30 HP, and it gets out of there just in the nick of time. It's going to unload its cargo right there for now and heal up the cargo. But, you know, SjoW getting a little bit. He's coming back a little bit, little by little. In fact, if anything, I don't think SjoW is that far behind. He has a double command center. His supply is right on par with the Zerg, and he's only behind by about 6 harvesters. So I think the thing here is Morrow opening up with that 7 Roach build. It's strong and it's effective, but it's so cost intensive for the Zerg to do that. They have to cut so many drones, and that's why Morrow isn't further ahead.
Yeah, it's a very big investment. It's a great point. So
Yeah.
he did a lot of damage, and he's still slightly ahead, but not as much as you think at this point. He's still on both 2 bases, and that's, as you know, as a Zerg player, you don't want to be on the same amount of bases as a Terran opponent.
Yeah, you don't.
So, but now it looks like we have a lot of Banelings, 12 Banelings being morphed here, 1/1 on the way. Actually, that's 1 armor and Baneling speed on the way, and a Spire about halfway done.
I like the Spire, actually. Morrow gonna have to get some Mutalisks out so he can deal with the dropships, which, have free reign in the skies right now. One of them actually still in the 30s, but it is going to go around here. I like how Morrow is pooping creep outside the perimeter of his base. It's gonna allow his units to intercept the dropships pretty quickly, and here comes the Marines. They are unloading down. The Banelings are a little bit far away, and it does mean that SjoW can back out of there, but one of the dropships goes down. That was one at 30 HP.
And he's going to drop his Marines on the low ground here. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do. I guess he's trying to snipe the Queen, but that's just not going to be fruitful for him.
Yeah, it's not going to be fruitful at all. He is going to reload that dropship and maybe take another stab at that Queen or possibly at the drone line here. Meanwhile, we do have some action at the Xel'Naga Tower. It looks like the Hellion there did get picked off, and the dropship unloads its cargo, but the dropship is under attack by the Queen. I love how Morrow always focuses the dropships. That's so smart and so intelligent.
Definitely a former Terran player move right there. He understands if that dropship goes down, none of those troops are getting out of there.
Yeah, he knows it. And, the thing, too, is, yes, he'll be able to deal with the Marines eventually, but if he allows that dropship to get out of there, that means that it'll come back later on with more cargo. So might as well just kill that dropship now. I'm going to take a page out of his book, man. I'm going to start killing, I'm going to target the dropship with my Queen from now on.
Good call.
Yeah, good call indeed.
Oh, and here we are with Mutalisk Ling Baneling from Morrow. Now, as a Zerg player, and you have a Mutalisk force, and your opponent's going Tank Marine, what do you try to do with your Mutalisks?
The thing about dealing with Marines and tanks if you're Zerg is you need to have Banelings, Lings, and Mutas, right?
Which he has.
Which he has, so he has the perfect composition.
But how do
now.
you engage? Do you try to harass with the Mutalisks? Do you go for a
can
big bust?
you do basically harass with the Mutalisks until the Terran pushes out. Once the Terran pushes out, that is your opportunity to engage the Terran. You don't want to engage him with your Lings and Blings at the front door. However, since SjoW has taken the third and it's pretty widely exposed, Morrow may go for that attack, and the objective here is land the Banelings on the Marines and get the Mutalisks on the tanks, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Wow.
And he's gonna destroy all the tanks with only 5 Mutalisks, and the Lings and Blings allowed to run right on into the natural, and no resistance from SjoW really. SjoW is gonna lose.
This looks like it's over for SjoW
Yeah, this
here.
looks like it's over.
Even with the planetary at the third, all he has is a handful of Marines and a single siege tank. A bunch of more Zerglings rallied in. The barracks going down. The second natural for Morrow, for SjoW, is about to go down. Looks like this is about to be a good game here.
Oh man.
Oh. Some nice siege tank shots on those Zerglings, but it's not going to
you're talking about the tank there?
Yeah,
it doesn't. I thought we were singing Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho. No.
Yeah, this is all over here.
Yeah, this is.
He did too much damage with that roach push early in the game.
He did a lot of damage with that, for sure. The other thing, too, is I don't think SjoW was able to really kick into high gear as he was just getting his third expansion up, and Morrow made a really good attack, and he was able to crush him. And thankfully, Morrow made it happen before that PF came up for the third. Also, one thing that hurt SjoW is he didn't wall this portion off. It's always good for a Terran player to have multiple walls to fall back to, and he didn't have one there.
That's a great point. And it's also worth noting that SjoW's first big win on the scene was in the Inferno Online League, which is a Swedish StarCraft 2 league, and in that final, he beat Morrow. So this is a little bit of a grudge match here from these two Swedish StarCraft 2 pros, and there's the GG from SjoW.
There's the GG from SjoW.